All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the Culinary Cannabis 101 course live session. I was gone last week because I was on vacation for my anniversary. So, um, really today is just more of like a catch up and a refresh. If anybody has any questions about really anything, not just necessarily the course, um, then that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today. Just catching up, making sure that everybody's feeling good, they're on pace. I saw, like I said, a lot of people made it all the way, I think, to like unit 4 and in module 5, which is awesome, which means you're close to getting your certificate. So that's super dope. I saw that when I was grading papers earlier today and assignments and stuff like that. I know a lot of people end up having questions about the pitch deck. That's the big assignment at the end. So some of you who are toward the end, I see that you're progressing really quickly, and you're getting toward that. If you have any pitch deck questions, feel free to ask them here. But also, we did a whole live session on pitch decks a few weeks ago, so that is in the recorded live sessions. So if you've gone through the assignments and you're still like, oh Lord, I don't know, we went really deep dive, and I use one of my pitch decks as an example in the live session to kind of help you guys get an idea of what they should look and sound like. So that's a really good live session to do that, because like I said, that's your big kind of final assignment to graduate from the course in its entirety. So that's a big deal. I hope everybody had a good 420 yesterday. I did. Not I was working, but I had a really good 420. And I actually did my giveaway on my channel. So I gave somebody a free Levo machine. So that was fun yesterday. But yeah, I'm always working. So if anybody wants to share something they did for 420, that would be super cool. Feel free to unmute yourselves and share with us.
I had a little gathering in the backyard. It was only about 4 or 5 of us. Bunch of edibles. I seen y'all picture a bunch of edibles. So obviously I made edibles. And we were smoking too. I'm not a smoker, but socially, if people around out here they want to slice.
Yeah.
But it was nice. We had a nice little spread. I'll send you a picture in the chat, and we was just chilling. We was freezing because I
Oh
had a
God.
sativa brownie, and the earlier in the day I had to go to a kid's birthday party, so I had a sativa brownie. So I'm up, I'm chilling, I'm playing with the kids, but now I'm on 1,000. I caught myself trying to put the fire pit together by myself. It's cold, it's getting dark. My girlfriend was like, "Could you just relax?" So then I had to take some indica to calm the hell down.
Yeah. That's the thing about
So we had a good
sativas.
time.
Like they work really well. If you get a good quality sativa, you like it's like taking a B12 vitamin or something.
I walked like 4 blocks. I walked 4 blocks so the party is right there. I kept walking back and I forgot something. So I walked in and he was like, "You going home again?" But the party was only it was a kiddie party, 2 blocks away. I kept going back and forth because then I was cold. And literally, I got a video of me trying to put this fire pit together. It's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. The party started at 7. I had to sit my behind down.
Yeah. At least it makes for a very good 420 story. You won't forget it. You won't forget it. What about you guys? Did y'all do anything fun, Tyler and William? You're muted. Oh,
There
Tyler,
we
he's unmuted.
go. Yeah. I just kind of hung out around the house, hung around the bong quite a bit, and had a few edibles as well. Nothing,
Nice.
nothing too crazy, but definitely enjoyed it.
Nice, nice. Very cool. Yeah, I worked, I did a 420 sale, so everything was 20% off on my menu. So I have been all day yesterday and all day today just been making orders. So making and shipping allegedly a lot of cannabis wine.
Very
So
nice.
Did the same
Who do
stuff.
you ship with? Do you use UPS?
USPS and UPS.
And do you put like ice packs in there, like the dry ice?
No, there's nothing that I sell that isn't shelf stable. Occasionally
Okay.
some people will order butter as a special order, and then I'll add ice packs to that.
Okay.
So what was up with you, William? How did it go?
It was fine. We didn't really do much most of the day. A buddy of mine's birthday is 420 as well. So
Nice.
he was medical issues, but he came over later and yeah, it was a really nice, it was a nice day. It really
Very
was. Once
good.
every together and forgot about the troubles of the day for the moment. It was nice.
Right.
We had a
Right.
fire and stuff, so it was good.
Very good. It's funny. 420 is actually my dog's birthday. Her name is Lola, and I always say that she is the most unbothered dog that you ever meet. Like she don't care about nothing except like one treat gets her excited, but for the most part, she don't care about nothing. And I was like, that makes sense that she was born on 420 because she don't care about nothing. She just be living. So, other than working, we took. I don't know if you can see it because I have the little thing on. It might not show. But I see if I put it in front of my face. There she is. She went to the dog park with her little birthday hat on yesterday because it was her birthday. So yeah, she got to have some CBD treats and she went to the dog park. She had some cookies because it was her birthday. And it was her 21st birthday. So she had a beer cookie. So yeah, she was a happy girl yesterday. She was a happy girl yesterday. Hi, Asaki. Welcome. We're all just sharing anything we did for 420. So if you'd like to chime in and tell us what you did to celebrate yesterday, if anything. Very nice. Very nice.
The very same thing I'm doing today and for the rest of the week. Want something and tincture. That's right. We're just gonna stay happy. Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
right.
my nephew is in Colorado right now. Apparently, there's quite a crowd up there, even though they canceled the main event. But yeah, he's sending me sativa home. So allegedly.
Allegedly.
Anyway.
Allegedly. We didn't hear anything. What sativa? We didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything.
Oh my God.
Very good. Very good. So I'm glad everybody enjoyed themselves. Like I said, so if anybody has any questions, do have one particular comment, kind of visited this before in previous months, and that is the importance of following directions. If you are going to work in any commercial kitchen, cannabis or otherwise, that is such an important thing. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched Gordon Ramsay or any chef in their kitchen. If you can't follow directions, you will quickly be dismissed. And I say that because it's such an important part of what we do, not just because it's in the kitchen, but because we're working with dosing and people's health and things like that. And you really need to be able to follow instructions. And if you're somebody who doesn't naturally have attention to detail, take the moment to read things twice or whatever, because I would say at least 30-40% of my students get poor grades on their assignments because they just don't follow the instructions. I get that, especially when we get to the end of assignments, either one, you're tired, or two, you're excited because you finally get to cook something. And then people just go off and do their own thing and unfortunately didn't do what the assignment called for. So I'm not big on failing people unless you just outright effed it up, but you won't get the grade that you would have deserved by just following the directions. If you did get a failing grade, which is a sub 70, it's like it just was nothing I could do to redeem it, to really justify giving you a passing grade if it was just like that egregious. So to that end, when you're doing your assignments, when you're doing your discussion boards, please take your time, read the assignments, follow the assignments. And as I've said in previous lives, everything in orange is clickable. So if you're reading an assignment and there's an orange or bolded text, something or word or phrase, click that and it'll typically take you to what your resources you need for that assignment. So I did notice that again this week when I was grading assignments, and I hate that because I'm reading stuff and like, y'all are doing so well. I'm like, okay, I'm checking off the points of what you guys did and how you're getting your points. And I'm like, shit, when I get to a certain point where you just didn't follow directions, and that just sucks. So that is my only soapbox moment of the day. But like I said, really just want to give you guys a chance to ask any questions that you might have, or voice any concerns or ideas or whatever you may have regarding the course, just because I was gone last week and I didn't want to just jump back in and just start rolling, because I know some people can either feel lost or whatever. I got a couple emails from some newbies. I don't think they're here today in the class, but they were saying that they just felt like they were kind of lost and they didn't understand like the pacing of the class. And there is no pacing. I don't know why I say that so many times. There is no pacing. It is self-paced, meaning you do it on your schedule, on your time. I grade your assignments on my schedule, on my time. So when I have office hours, that is when I sit down and I grade your assignment. So if you haven't received a grade for your assignment, it is not because I didn't see it or I'm ignoring you or you didn't do something correctly. I have about 10 jobs, literally, not exaggerating, and 4 companies that I run, and one that is a big deal because I'm fundraising $2 million for. So I'm super busy. I only give a couple hours a week to Greenleaf. So I sit down. If your assignment is there, it will be graded. If not, it'll be graded the next time. Now, if it's
I
been
have
more,
something to. Oh, sorry.
if it's been more than a couple of weeks and you haven't received a grade, sometimes Moodle is funky and it won't send me an email and tell me that you submitted your assignment. So just shoot me like a message or something and say, hey, I submitted module 2, blah, 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 blah. And I just noticed it hadn't been graded yet. And then I'll go in and check it out when I'm in my office hours because Moodle is funky. So sometimes I don't get a notification that you guys turned in stuff. But it doesn't mean that you didn't turn it in or the system doesn't have it. It's just, it's funky. Moodle is an imperfect software for sure. You said you had a question or a comment?
Yes, I'm a classroom learner. So doing this self-paced thing is really challenging because it's confusing. And I know you said you have nothing to do with the blueprint part, but I'm still in that part. It makes no sense. It's just a bunch of podcasts with people in their opinions on, like one lady was like, oh yeah, I started getting high in 1960 something. How is that relevant to me? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but I paid a lot of money to just listen to podcasts. Like that's all it is listen to podcasts. And then I don't have Apple. So one of them, I couldn't even do the assignments. It's frustrating. And do we have to, every single discussion board, we have to.
I'll ask you this. For the blueprint, did you receive the first 4-week free thing through the like blueprint scholarship, or you paid the full price?
No, I received the first 4 weeks free. So I'm in week 3 right now, I think. I'm in week 3 of doing the blueprint stuff. Then I'll do week 4 and then I actually start your class.
Okay.
It's just confusing. And then do I have to comment on every single discussion in order to get a grade?
Again, I will say this with a disclaimer. I know zero about the blueprint
but
course.
The crazy
that
part
is not my course. It is, but I will say 3
different people couldn't tell me about it. 3 different people.
That's weird. Her name is Aisha. She's the person that designed. She's the administrator that designed the blueprint course. So she should be able to say yay or nay if you have it. I don't know much about it. Do you? Are there grades? Like, have you ever received a grade?
I've never received a grade, and that's another thing. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm on the right track because I received no feedback, no grades. I know it has nothing to do with you, and all these different people keep reaching out to me, and I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
So can someone from Blueprint be invited to this on a Wednesday so that we can get some things cleared up, because this is the only time we get to talk and it has nothing to do with you. So
and that's another thing too. Like typically the students who are in Blueprint actually don't have access to my class. Like you don't get access to live courses until
I think they did it because I paid in full. I paid in full up front, so that's why they did it.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, typically, like I said, I don't ever have anything to do with that. So but like I said, are there assignments or is it just all like reading?
It's a whole lot of reading from articles. Like it's just like links you're clicking on. You're just reading articles that were, I guess, news breaks somewhere, you just get a link. So it's like a lot of article reading, a lot of podcasts, and a lot of YouTube videos.
Okay. So I'll tell you this. If you paid in full, despite getting like the free thing, I would say, do you have access to my course or they haven't granted it to you yet? Like you can see my classes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me show you the computer. Wait, let me show you first to see if I know what I'm talking about. Let me log in. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize to everybody else, but I'm really lost.
Oh, it's okay, because I'm not even certain what you're talking about. Blueprints.
I think the blueprint
you
course
have to
might
go
have
through the
come
blueprint
after.
Scholarship.
Yeah, I think that might have come either after you started, William, or I'm not sure. But the school has this thing called the Blueprint Scholarship. So basically, like it's like a social equity program for the school, essentially. So if you are a person of color, a minority, a person who has a conviction with cannabis, then you receive the first month of the whole 3-month program for free. how, but the caveat sort of to that is that that first 4 weeks is the blueprint course. It's a separate course, but it's part of the entire program for your certificate. So you take the blueprint course, which essentially kind of talks about the cannabis industry as a whole, not
here, I'm gonna
not
show you.
specific
I
to
don't know.
sector. It talks about like just all kinds of stuff about cannabis. It's kind of like if you didn't know nothing about cannabis, it throws you into like a lot of cannabis resources. And then when you finish that week 5 through 12, you're actually in my course, like taking my course content. So there's 2 different courses, but it's one program to get your certificate. And so people who came in through the blueprint program typically one are on a payment plan that's like a year or 6 months or whatever many months. So they would not be eligible to kind of skip the line in a sense to just jump into the coursework, because that's part of their like freebie and them getting like the getting in for free, getting the discount, and they also don't start paying essentially until they finish the blueprint course, which was technically free. Now, if like how she said she paid in full, which is why I'm about to say, if she has already paid in full, I would advise just moving on to the culinary content because you have access to it. Typically, people who get on the blueprint program will do both things. They'll do a payment plan and they'll be on blueprint. So because you're on a payment plan and you got the first 4 weeks free, you don't start paying for anything until week 5. So then you will not receive access to any of the like course specific information until you've made that first payment in week 5. Because all you got free was blueprint.
Is this
yes.
your stuff?
Yes. So if you can see that and you paid in full, sis, move on from the blueprint. Now I'm saying this unofficially because I'm not administration, but I want to be clear that it's really the only real reason why you couldn't move forward is because you have not paid yet. But because you paid in full, it looks like they've already given you access to the blueprint course and my course. And if it's not valuable to you and it's because it's self-paced and that there's no graded assignments as part of it and it's just resources to read and like podcasts, I would move on.
No, there is graded assignments.
That's odd to me, especially because how do I put it? For getting your certificate, the only thing that's required, and again, this is unofficial. Let me pause this recording right quick. Resume recording. Okay, so we are going over the assignment, the cannabis recipe challenge. So you click the recipe online link. It'll take you to all recipes. Literally, you can choose any recipe. I was trying to find one pretty easily, but it didn't want to participate. So let's just see. Here's one, appetizers and snacks. We only have I didn't cut off. I don't know why I didn't cut off on us, but we was gonna count our blessings. Something that I think might have something easily infusible. Let me see, hot crab dip might have butter in it or something. Okay, let's see. Okay, so basically you would take a recipe and then you would go through it to see where your infusion could exist, essentially. So in this one, it could be in the buttermilk, it could be in the mayonnaise. Please go away with all these pop-ups, Jesus. Oh, there it is. It was telling me that our class is about to end. So yeah, either one of those. Let's just say we infused the buttermilk because that's an easier one to infuse milk. So 1 cup is 8 ounces. Now we go back to the assignment and it says, we'll assume that you infused your base with 100 milligrams per ounce. Now we know that the recipe said 1 cup and we're going to use, milk as our infusion medium or base. So that 8 ounces means we would be putting 800 milligrams because we're saying 100 milligrams of THC per ounce. And there's 1 cup of the buttermilk that's going to go into the recipe. So that's 800 milligrams or 8 grams, depending on how we're converting, of THC that's going to go into this entire recipe, right? So now once and I'll give the second disclaimer after this, but so after you do all of this, you do the recipe, let's see how much does it yield? Does it say? Right here, servings. So you're going to get a loaf pan of dip that serves 18. So essentially, to get to all of your answers for your assignment, we know we put 800 milligrams of THC, because that was our 800 milligram cup of buttermilk, into the recipe, and it has 18 servings. So then you would just literally put 800 divided by 18, and you have 44.44, or you can say 44.4, or just 44 milligrams of THC per serving of this hot crab dip in your recipe, essentially. So it shouldn't be difficult. I guess we use nice round numbers. That's why we make the assumption of 100 milligrams per ounce of the infusion medium, and we're not using all kind of crazy numbers, because otherwise it can just get very convoluted, and we don't want the assignment to be overly complicated. So that's, so you're making your meal, you uploading a picture of it, you're going to share how much went into it. Like we said, at 100 milligrams of THC per ounce, and we used 8 ounces of buttermilk, then that means 800. So the answer to that would be 800 milligrams THC went into the entire recipe. What is the yield of the recipe? It had 18 servings. And then how much THC per serving? And then we just did that math, and it was 44 milligrams of THC per serving of the dip. So that's all that you're doing. And it should be very, very straightforward. The intention of the assignment is to just communicate that you know how to turn any recipe into a cannabis recipe, not some recipe that you know about, on the back of your hand, like, and that you tried a million times, that somebody can throw any recipe at you, and you as an edibles professional know how to convert that recipe to cannabis and dose it properly and provide the appropriate dose to whomever you're serving the dish to. So that is the intention and the purpose of this assignment. And like I said, if you want to get fancy, you can pick one or whatever, but that's the point, is to find a recipe and convert it to a cannabis edibles recipe.
Oh, just to clarify right quick, your 100 milligrams of THC per ounce, you mean your infusion medium?
Yes, that's where it says. Base, we'll assume that you infuse your base/medium, whichever words you want to use, it's semantics, with 100 milligrams. I'm sorry?
Yeah, you know what? I messed up there too. But when I read 100 milligrams of THC per ounce, I thought you were speaking of the material that you're getting the THC from. Like, I use flour, and I usually work on ounces at a time, and I don't do 100 milligrams per ounce. I do 100 milligrams per gram when I'm working with a flour medium.
Yeah, with flour, yes, but no, not for
the only medium that I work in, and that's where I misunderstood that the ounce at the end of that statement was connected to your medium.
Yes, because the flour is not a medium. A flour is your base material, but that's not your medium. Your medium is going to be your milk, butter, oil, whatever you're infusing. Okay. I'm gonna just highlight this again, just so maybe somebody else in the future might miss that. We just want to make sure that it's easy to understand. Bold and save. So yeah, that is that assignment. I'm glad you have questions, and because you wouldn't be the only one who has those questions or misunderstandings, and we want to make sure that everybody has a chance. If you think that there's something else that you might have missed, then I think I can release it, the one that you just resubmitted, and then if you want to resubmit again, totally up to you.
What it really comes down to is, obviously you commented on the recipe being good. I think you understood that I was talking about flour. No?
No, I didn't. No. But like, so the recipe itself just seemed like a good recipe. It seemed like, you said you did a good job making it and everything. But like I said, the math is really the important part, and that's the part that was missing.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't use enough description as far as my ingredients.
No worries.
All right, very good then. Whatever it is, I don't know. Just leave it the way it is. I'll make the corrections, but it's kind of.
It's totally up to you. You don't have to. And also, I would just put it like this: if you understand the concept and your other grades have been good, I wouldn't advise you to spend your time resubmitting the assignment, because the one assignment is not going to like tank you or make you not pass, or the entire program or something like that. So if you understand the concept, there's no point in resubmitting it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get that too. I mean, I don't even know why I resubmitted in the first place. Like I said, I never had the option in my life. So this one time I'm like, wow, I might as well do it.
I'm not mad at you. Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. Okay, guys. Well, it's about to shut us down in a couple of minutes. If you guys have any other questions, y'all know where to find me. I am back from vacation, so I will be answering emails, text messages, things of that sort. I hope y'all have a wonderful week and wish me luck. I'm pitching VCs tomorrow for my $2 million tomorrow evening, so wish me luck. I appreciate y'all. And I think to myself all the time that I'm sure some of y'all will be the people I hire to work in my kitchen, because I'd rather spend my $2 million on people I taught. So I know you know what you're talking about. So if anybody want to move to Detroit or just Michigan to join us on this journey, then you might have a job. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week. I will see y'all next time. Bye, guys.